quarterbacking. Isn't that what it's called? Backseat quarterbacking on what is going on in Ukraine.
Retired U.S. Army Brigadier General Steve Anderson joins us now. So good to have you with us, General. Let's first start, if we could, by talking a little bit more about the capability of these kamikaze drones. What specifically can they do? Why are they seen as the choice to make right now?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I think it's telling to see just how desperate Vladimir Putin is. He has to go to the Iranians to get drones like this. But these can be very effective drones. They're intended to be fired in groups, in swarms. And their launching platform has 5 rockets on them. They're rocket assisted. They fly to their target. They have 1,500 miles of range. So that means that they can launch these things conceivably from Moscow all the way.
It will never not be weird to me that we just have like weapon systems and ads for said weapon systems, and they pull this shit all the time. This is the Iranian version of what we watched a couple months ago with the American version of the exact same fucking weapon, the Switchblade. If you remember, I was like, why are they showing this on TV? Like, this is just a fucking Raytheon ad, and it's the exact same thing. And it's so weird. It is so dystopian. It's so fucking strange. Like, they're literally just like, this is an ad for. Yeah, here. Thank you for showing that once again.
The beauty of the Utah desert, a deadly new kind of weapon on display. NBC News got an exclusive look at a so-called killer drone.
Yeah, so
it doesn't fire a missile, it is the missile.
This is about the size of a toy drone I bought my 12-year-old a few years ago.
The Switchblade can be carried into battle in a backpack and launched miles away from a threat.
Once a target is identified, the Switchblade can find it and kill it in minutes.
It's crazy.
All the way into anywhere in Ukraine. They carry an 88-pound warhead, which is enough to maybe not take out a bridge, but cause some pretty significant damage. I mean, you don't want flying in your apartment window in the morning, that's for sure. But these things are effective. We saw that the Ukrainians were able to knock out 85%, but again, they're being deployed in swarms, so a few are going to get through, and those that get through are intended to terrorize the Ukrainian people. They're trying to take out infrastructure. They're trying to knock out energy assets prior to the winter, to make life more miserable for the Ukrainians. But look, spoiler alert to Mr. Putin, it's not going to work.
So, General, when a U.S. official says that...
But like, he just hyped up the system, didn't even mention why it wouldn't work. I want information, man. I don't want you to go back and just like show the Iranian ad for their fucking kamikaze drones and then go, spoiler alert, it's not going to work. Why wouldn't it work? Can you give me analysis? I'm not even saying like it's going to work or it's not going to work. But I do want to know. This is the news. You're the guy who's supposed to know. Why are you not telling us why it's not going to work? What the fuck? Oh my God. Because for the record, it's been working. Like, they've taken out a fuckload of power lines. Like, from what I understand, from what we've seen thus far, like, a lot of those missiles, some of them have been subverted, some of them have been taken down, even with conventional weapons. Like, but as far as like knocking out the power grid, it has been relatively successful.
The administration will consider the use of these drones when deciding future support for the Ukrainians. What do they need to counter these kamikaze drones?
They need more air defense artillery systems. I mean, right now they have the S-300 they got from Slovakia, and they've got these NASAM systems, these joint Norwegian-U.S. air defense systems, 2 of which are inbound in the next 2 months. Another 6, for a total 8, are going to come in over the coming months. But the problem with this is it's a medium range.
Bro, this is literally QVC, by the way. Holy fuck. Listen, you can skip the ad at the top of the hour if you subscribe for $5. but not when we're watching content like this, okay? I'm just saying, at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads at least, you can subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. You can get gifted a sub if you're lucky because it's ad time right now. That's the ways to have an uninterrupted broadcast experience, right? But we are currently also watching QVC for weapon systems, just for the record. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. If this motherfucker turns around and says these weapon systems are not enough, what you need is the Raytheon one, and then I do a quick dive into his background and we find out that he's actually consulting for Raytheon, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Okay. Like, he's like, yeah, you can get the Raytheon missile system by using the code word dildo at checkout. That's right. Please use my code word dildo at the checkout if you want 10% off your first order. And that way, you'll get to show your support.
System, okay? The problem with UAVs is they're low range. So what they need is some low range capability. And I submit to you that we need to look the United States at providing the CRAM system. That's the CRAM, counter rocket, artillery, and mortar. These are incredibly effective systems. They're made by Raytheon. They're intended to go after low-flying targets. They go after rockets, artillery, and mortar rounds. If you got something that's good enough to shoot out a mortar round, then, it's going to be easy pickings for anything that's flying in a UAV. Now, I had 20 to 25 of these systems when I was in Afghanistan, 2016 to 2018. They're incredibly effective. These are the systems that the United States need to get on the ground in Ukraine now.
Once they get...
That's insane, dude. That's insane. Shut the fuck up. Okay, what's the retired general's name? I don't know who the fuck this dude is. Folks, yeah. Folks, these things are flying off the shelf, so act fast. Call now and get 2 for the price of 1. That's right. CRAM. Remember, dildo is the code at the checkout. In the next 5 minutes, we're going to be clearing out our inventory. Holy fuck! Brigadier General Steve Anderson, USA, currently works at the All-Native Group, the Federal Services Division of Ho Chunk, Inc. What? Executive Director of Business, Defense Solutions and Services? Did you just make that up? He does work for them. He does work for, as a consultant, I can't look at LinkedIn links because I don't have a LinkedIn. It's like the worst. So send me a... this is his, this is him. Back when he had more hair. Brigadier General Steve Anderson currently works at All Native Group, the Federal Service Division of Ho Chunk, Inc. as Executive Director of Business, Defense Solutions and Services. He's also a member of the Vote Vets. One of their clients has to be Raytheon. He worked at Raytheon for 23 years. Okay, so he's still working for Raytheon. Anyway. Steve Anderson retired. He did work at Raytheon. But I don't think he still works at Raytheon. He's like, which by the way, I think the missile system that he's talking about, NASAMS, that might even be like, because he said Norwegian-American collaboration. I'm going to go ahead and assume that that is also Raytheon. He's saying that like you're using this, but you need, yep, it is. I was right. So NASAMS is also a Raytheon missile defense system. So he's saying, you guys bought a bunch of NASAMS inventory, but here's some other ones that you need to buy from Raytheon as well. It says on screen. Oh, does it? Oh, yeah, it does say produced by Raytheon.
Get there. How quickly could they be put into use? Because we've talked about a lot over the last several months about certain systems, learning how to use those systems, being up to speed in time. What is that amount of time that they would need?
Bro, this is literally when your fucking waiter comes over to your table and he's like, would you like some fries with that? Okay? This is the high level version of, would you like to substitute your fries for an onion ring? Okay? And then upselling you on as many apps as you possibly can. Okay? That's it. He just straight up, he's just like, come on, you should get this system too. Which, by the way, in this situation, because we're talking about life and death, like that will probably be helpful too. That doesn't change the reality. Just like onion rings are delicious. Okay? You might want some fucking extra onion rings. But it doesn't change the reality that that is precisely what he's selling. Okay?
They are mobile systems, so they can literally be put up in a matter of hours. We're not talking days or weeks. They can be driven into...
It's just that, like, they are presenting this as, like, the tactical defense guy, right? You know, he's a general. He's doing tactical defense work here. He's explaining on the Super Bowl, on the Super Bowl TV, on the Jumbotron, how to defend Ukrainians. He's not doing that. He's selling weapons right now on CNN. Okay, that's what he's doing. He even looks like a fucking car salesman, which is pretty hilarious. Anyway.
The systems they need, they can be established. Now, the problem there, of course, is they'd be operated by probably American contractors. Right now, there's a prohibition against that. I submit to you that this is a bridge we need to cross. We need to get American contractors on the ground to operate systems like this. Also,
oh my God. He's like, come on, just send some American contractors. Vietnam to Electric Boogaloo, okay? But this time with nukes. I like to play dangerously, okay? I like to play, I live in La Vida Loca, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's not just about Taco Bell. Live Moss is more than that. It's about sending American contractors into the field of battle, okay? In the hopes that they will be able to use these weapon systems that we're going to sell to Ukraine with our money that we are already giving to Ukraine, that we are giving to the R&D side on Raytheon, okay, double booking on tax dollars that way, making sure that that dollar cycles within the American economy once again. But we should also send some Americans in there. Why? Because when they get shot, then that's all-out nuclear warfare, okay? That means we now have to send in, the entirety of our forces. That means that now all of a sudden 2 states with nuclear weapons and a nuclear arsenal are now engaging in direct battle. That's right. This way, I'll be able to sell you even more weapons. Except I won't. Article 5 implies, mutually assured destruction and everybody dies. However, my children get to go to Yale for 1 more semester until the nukes start flying. Okay? Trying as hard as possible to make this proxy war a little more hands-on to suck every possible dime out of it.
So to help repair all the systems we've given them in the past that they're breaking, the 777s,
So basically, you would rather that Ukrainians don't get their air defense because it surely sounds like that. First and foremost, I already mentioned that Ukrainians have a right to defend themselves, okay? But let's not fucking act like this dipshit over here is not selling direct weapons. I just gave you proof of what CNN is doing here under the guise of news coverage, okay? You are watching the dystopian future that we thought we would be living in with, Arasaka and cyberpunk, you know what I mean? Like, all this shit is happening right now. This is Arasaka, okay?
the HIMARS, the systems that we've given them, they're operating with devastating effect against the Russians, but they're not able to maintain them.
I don't even know how these medium air range defense systems are going to actually fucking shoot down the drones that they're talking about.
If we really want to help the Ukrainians push the Russians all the way out of their held territory, to include Crimea, we're going to have to surge logistics capabilities and get U.S. contractors on the ground, not only providing air defense expertise and operations, but also to provide logistics support.
All right.
Like, I made a joke stating, like, it would be really funny if he just said, those weapon systems are great, but here's a better one that we should be actually selling to the Ukrainians. And he did it immediately after. Okay? That's crazy. You see, like, someone doing QVC on CNN while talking about people's fucking lives at stake, and your immediate thing is like, well, it seems like you don't want Ukrainians to defend themselves.
I want to rush by this. You suggested there should be U.S. contractors in Ukraine. Putin is likely not going to see the nuance between a U.S. contractor teaching the Ukrainians how to use this hardware versus actually being in the fight against Russians. So you think it's worth it?
Oh, absolutely, Victor. Absolutely. He probably will perceive it as some sort of an escalation, but it's one that we need to we need to go across this bridge right now. We need these systems. We need to show our support to Ukraine. We need to show the Russians that we are behind the Ukrainians all the way, and that includes putting American contractors on the ground.
Come on, dude. He's doing sales. He's literally doing buy now. We need to show Ukrainians that we support them all the way. And the only way to show that support is by buying more Raytheon. Do not buy Lockheed Martin. They did not renegotiate their contract with my defense contracting company. Buy Raytheon now. Buy. 1-800-HOT-LOADS. Act now and we'll throw in a Metal Gear.
We're going to send a message to our allies, to the Ukrainians.
Maybe I just have extreme brain rot, but this is the darkest CNN video ever showed. Every single time they have a fucking retired general on there talking about missile systems, they are working for they are consulting for directly the missile systems that they're selling, okay?
To the world, to the Russians, that we're serious about making sure the Ukrainians win this. This is an existential threat to us all, and we must do everything possible to include putting U.S. contractors on the ground in Ukraine now.
All right, Brigadier General Steve Anderson, thank you.
Yeah, it's like it's not enough that we have the CRAM system that the Congress needs to act fast on, but also we need to put U.S. contractors on the ground. Love that. Holy fuck. This is fucking, you should be able, you need to say hashtag ad when you do this. Okay? If I got to say hashtag ad when I'm doing a fucking hashtag ad, you need to do that as well. This is like native advertising directly on CNN. That's crazy. All right, being friends with James Corden is where I finally draw the line.